Welcome to the Episode 9 summary of the Reading Finnegans Wake podcast, where we dive into James Joyce's incredible book, 3 pages at a time. If you like what we're doing here, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment to support us. And hey, for a way more detailed analysis, you've got to listen to the full podcast. And for line-by-line explanations and notes, head over to the finneganswakenotes.com website. It's all there for you.
All right, let's get right into it. To answer that question, we are plunging headfirst into one of the most famously difficult books ever written, Finnegans Wake, to unravel the origin story of its central character and really one of literature's greatest puzzles.
So, we begin with our main guy, our protagonist, a man whose identity is a total mystery from the very first line. Is he some ancient giant? Is he a pub keeper in Dublin? Well, the answer is, yeah, he's all of them, and a whole lot more.
I mean, look at this list. He's known by this dizzying array of names and initials. Sometimes he's Harold, other times Humphrey. The locals call him Good Duke Humphrey, and to his friends, he's just Chimbers. But for our story today, there are 2 names that really matter. His surname, Earwicker, and the nickname that defines his role in the entire book. Here Comes Everybody, or HCE for short.
You'd think a guy this important would have some grand, mythic origin story, right? But what the book gives us is this seemingly simple, almost ridiculous tale that, in true Joycean fashion, contains, well, multitudes. It all kicks off one afternoon in a garden with an unexpected royal visit. This is the official story, at least on the surface. Our hero is described as a grand old gardener, and right away that title is echoing the Roman hero Cincinnatus, maybe even Adam before the fall. He's just peacefully doing his work in his garden when a king's hunting party suddenly stops on the road.
So he stumbles out to meet the whole royal entourage, and he's carrying this weird-looking thing. What is it? It's a homemade trap for earwigs. You know, those little insects that love to hide in dark, tight spaces?
But the king, well, let's just say his vision isn't quite what it used to be. As Joyce puts it, he's noticeably long-sighted, and he gets it completely wrong. He sees the pole and immediately thinks of fishing, asking what kind of bait you'd use for catching lobsters.
And our gardener, in this super thick local dialect, corrects him. He says something like, "No, Your Majesty, I was just catching those bloody earwigs."
And just like that, from a simple, kind of funny misunderstanding, a name is born. The king thinks the word earwigger is hilarious, the joke lands, and the name sticks. But, and this is crucial, with Joyce, the story on the surface is never the whole story.
Okay, and this is where we really start to peel back the layers and see the genius at work. Joyce hides clues inside the words themselves, turning the language into this incredible, mind-bending code for us to decipher.
The narrator tells us this whole origin story comes from an ancient-sounding text called the Dumlet, and it's attributed to a scholar with the equally obscure name Hofed ben Adar. I mean, it all sounds very official, right? Very historical.
But just watch what happens when you read Dumlot backwards. You get Talmud. This is just a brilliant example of Joyce's whole method. History, religion, layers of meaning are all hidden just beneath the surface, often in reverse, just waiting for you to find them.
That one little word trick unlocks everything. It's basically an invitation from Joyce to look deeper, to treat this entire section not as a straightforward story, but more like an archaeological dig for hidden meaning. So let's see just how deep this rabbit hole goes, because this simple gardener isn't just one man. He's a symbol for many things all at once.
Scholars see multiple layers just exploding from this one scene. The gardener becomes a porter, a mythic gatekeeper between worlds. You've got Joseph Campbell, who sees him as a version of Adam in the Garden of Eden. The king becomes a stand-in for huge historical figures like William the Conqueror. The simple story just detonates with symbolic meaning.
Every single word choice connects to a deeper history. The text is packed with references to Viking administrative terms like wapentake, the names of Irish towns, and the entire history of settlement and conquest. HCE becomes a symbol for the ancestor of us all.
So, here's the crucial point. How do all these layers, the gardener, Adam, the historical echoes, the everyman, how do they all come together to solve the mystery of his famous nickname? This story tells us that after this big day with the king, every official document, every letter, everything signed by our hero now has the initials HCE. This moment is the turning point where his identity gets, codified.
And it's the people, the public, who give those initials their ultimate meaning.
Here comes everybody. He stops being just one person and becomes this container for all of human experience. Every triumph, every failure, every single person who has ever lived.
As Joyce writes, he is both a specific, flawed man and a magnificent universal symbol. He is constantly the same as and equal to himself, yet at the same time he is also everybody, and that is the central beautiful paradox of this character.
But listen, this is just the beginning. This story of how he got his name is immediately followed by rumors of some mysterious sin in the park. So what is the real story of HCE's fall? How does this universal everyman become a public outcast? And how is his downfall captured in a scandalous ballad written by a man named Hosty? These are the questions we tackle in the full podcast. So for all the details, listen to the Reading Finnegans Wake podcast and visit finneganswakenotes.com.
Joyce shows us that identity is never, ever simple. It's a story layered with history, with myth, and even with a comical misunderstanding. HCE's name came from a joke, but it came to contain the universe. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are the stories, the accidents, and the histories that we all carry in our own names?